All right, so first thing's going to be first. First thing is going to be this. There we go. Alrighty. All right, so Paladin pre-raid gearing. So the first thing that I want to do is come up with a plan. So I've actually found that when you're looking up characters for Season of Discovery, there are a lot of different guides and lists and things like that. So, and none of them really seem to agree on at least probably half the stuff. So I'm going to take a look at it, and then I'm going to use the old brain here to make a decision. So I think to start off with, I want to take a look at this, and then I want to compare it to the equipment, that I already have. So for the head, well, right now I don't have any headpiece whatsoever, so got to make something happen there. But the thing is, so I looked, and there's like a really, really long quest chain that you can do in Duskwood, and it's level range. We'll go to 23 to 25. No items. There's a really long quest chain that you can do in Duskwood. Eventually, the quest that you finish off, it's like a level 30 or level 32 quest, and it gives you what's supposed to be one of the better helmets prior to the raid. But the quest chain is really long, and you're going to have a group because the required level is so high. So I kind of don't like doing that just because it's going to take a lot of effort. Not that I mind a lot of effort, it's just this is a lot of effort. And then at the same time, I feel like, again, I haven't been to BFD yet, but I'm personally just like not giving a lot of respect to BFD as a raid simply because it's a level 25 raid. Like, how hard can it be? And what I've seen in the past is that when it comes to raiding in World of Warcraft, a lot of the guilds, a lot of the people are actually snobs. They require you to have significantly better gear than what you would actually need to be able to do it. I'm not looking for like pre-raid best in slot. I'm actually just looking for enough to be able to get into the raid. So I definitely would like to have some kind of a headpiece, but you can see here 48 gold, 130 gold, just to be able to get into a raid and then replace it as soon as the helmet drops. It seems really silly. And then cloth. Let's check the headpiece. Is anybody going to accept me to a raid if I show up wearing an Azure silk hood? I can always like hide helm and hope they don't inspect me. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like it would be perfectly fine to go in with no helm whatsoever, but I don't know how other people are going to look at that. Potentially, though, with a guild run, it may not matter. But I am going to have to try to keep that in mind. So headpiece, going to have a little bit of work to do there. As far as the shoulders go, really just looking for strength and stam on the shoulders, it looks like. And I think if we take a look at what I have so far, I found these while I was questing. It's strength and spirit. Spirit's not totally worthless. It's going to help with mana regeneration a little bit. I've been playing mostly Ret Paladin. I don't think protection has those issues with mana because of the way that some of the new runes work. You just get mana back as you're being healed. Specifically, though, for Rets, like if I'm going full-on DPS and using all of my abilities in an optimized rotation, you just run out of mana actually pretty quickly. So if the bosses aren't dying very, very fast, you just run out of mana. So Spirit, not totally worthless. It looks like Stam and Strength would be a little bit better. And it's probably also worth it to note here that this particular list that I'm looking up is for tanking. So, stamina definitely going to be better on a tank than actually the spirit that I have now. So the shoulders are probably passable. I don't necessarily think I need an upgrade there, but we could do a little bit better. Chest piece, we've got these two pieces very, very similar. The Shining Silver breastplate is very expensive on the auction house from what I've seen. For just 1 less strength, 1 less stam, we would need to run Wailing Caverns to be able to get that mutant scale breastplate. But taking a look here, I found this in a Shadowfang Keep run. 3 strength, 11 stam versus like 13 strength and 5 stam, I think was the other thing. I feel like this is perfectly fine. This should be great to be able to start the raid. Stamina is going to be good for a tank anyway. The strength means, you know, a little bit less damage on all of our abilities, but it should just be fine. So I think we're okay on the chest piece. As far as the bracers go, right now I've got 3 strength, 2 stam. And this was one of the things that I feel like the list that I was looking at maybe wasn't as good. Where do they have wrist? So over here they have a World Drop Jorgen bracers. These are going to be really, really expensive on the auction house, I'm sure. And then we have pattern bronze bracers that are 5 strength. And I might actually be able to find some of those relatively cheap. Again, I don't necessarily want to spend like an insane amount of money. Could just go 50 silver for the 5 strength. Would be giving up the stamina here. But there's another item that's actually not listed on this particular thing, and that is the Jimmied handcuffs, which are dropped in the stocks. And so, but I think it's from a rare spawn in the stocks. It's not going to be there every time, but the Jimmied handcuffs, I think it's like 7 stam and 3 strength, maybe 2. But that's another option that's not listed on this particular website. I think it is maybe listed on some of the others. Again, there seems to be some kind of difference. So, you know, pattern bronze bracers would be an option. Could just run stockades and see if we could actually pick up the other item. Waist belt of the stars. That was actually the most recent thing that I actually just did. We're actually in good shape there, so that's fine. Chauses of Westfall. This is one of the better items that you can get pre-raid, so we're going to be good there. Boots. 3 strength, 5 stam. And let's see, what do we have for boots here? How come they don't put it in order based on the order on your screen? Oh, they call it feet and not boots. So feet of the lynx. I don't really like leather, especially for a tanking spec. You know, the armor is going to make some kind of a difference. Again, everything is so low level. You know, Black Fathom Deeps, it's low level. It's level 25. Realistically, probably nothing matters as long as you can do the mechanics. And even then, I expect the mechanics probably aren't all that hard to do. But again, you know, the old noggin tells me that armor might be good. I don't really want to wear leather. World drop, probably anything like that's going to be really expensive. Then we have draftsman boots, but another option that they've actually left off this list, and I'm not sure like who really put this list together, this particular list, but we do have some options as far as like the green iron. So the green iron gauntlets, this would be good enough, I think. You can see here I've got 5 strength, so this would just be like an extra straight 6 stamina. 1 gold, not that big of an investment. I don't mind paying that. I'm not going out and buying stuff for like 10 gold, 30 gold, and all this other kind of thing, though. That's ridiculous. Well, first of all, I don't even have 30 gold, but it's going to be so short-lived before you start running the raid that there's really no reason to go out and spend that kind of cash on it. So, but the green iron gauntlets could be a good option for the gloves here, but also for the boots. I'm pretty sure there's like green iron boots. Let me just change this to feet. So yeah, green iron boots, about 1.5 gold, 7 stam, 3 strength. So it's only 2 extra stamina from what I actually have right now. And then taking a look at this particular. This is supposed to be a pre-raid best in slot list, but again, this particular list, some things have been left off. I haven't really been able to find a list that I really, really like for pre-raid best in slot gear. I feel like all of them have kind of missed a couple of items, which is no surprise, you know, not being critical of anybody on this particular thing, just because there's so many different items in the game. Nobody's going to be able to remember them all, so. But they definitely, you know, left that out as an option. Draftsman boots. You know, this is a quest in Stone Talon. Should be pretty easy to do. I think I've actually got that flight path if I wanted to go for it. But it's really only going to be like 2 more strength than what I have now. Or I could just go for the green iron boots that we can see right here. To to get an additional 2 stam. But either way, the boots might actually be fine. You look at the boots, they don't look all that great, but I think they could actually just be fine. Getting down into the ring. So right now I've got a Protector's Band. This is from the PvP. You know, really easy to get with the new Ashen Veil. Ashen Veil, really not even PvP. You're just like running around and collecting rep. It's like a rep simulator. And then also the Demon Band. Demon Band is 4 strength, 2 stam, 2 spirit. Again, spirit not totally worthless, but not super great for protection, I don't think, at least in a group setting. But taking a look at the list that we have pulled up over here for rings, random drop in Razorfin Crawl, that's going to be, you know, on the auction house, I'm sure it's going to be really, really expensive. It's unrealistic to try to go in and farm for it, even though I do see groups forming for Razorfin Crawl. I think there's other reasons to go in. Probably not going to do that. Seal of Ren, definitely a good ring, a longer quest chain attached to it. And another thing that I've been keeping in mind is when Season of Discovery Phase 2 comes out, if you do all the quests that are available at your level, then you're going to hurt yourself for like having quests to do to be able to get to the next level cap, which I think they've announced is going to be level 40. But I don't want to just go out and do like every quest just to get gear to get into Black Fathom Deeps. Again, I just don't see how it can possibly be that hard, that you would need best in slot gear to be able to do it. So, and it's a lot of work to be able to get this Seal of Ren. Again, I don't mind a lot of work, but at some point it's just unreasonable for the content that we're trying to get into. So you can probably do without this, unless we just kind of happen across it. Renegade Ring, 3 stam, 3 agility. That's not going to be, you know, really all that better than the 4 strength, 2 stam. So again, like on this particular list, it feels like maybe they kind of missed the Demon Band as an honorable mention call out for this particular spec. And let's see, we've got... Whoop. Whoop. Silverlane's Family Seal. This is going to drop in Shadowfang Keep, so that would definitely be doable. 7 strength, 3 stam. That's going to be a little bit better than what I've got in the Demon Band there. And then the Protector's Band, we've actually already have. As far as the one-handed weapons here, that's probably like my biggest opportunity from my tanking specs. So you can see here that when I'm tanking, currently the weapon that I would be using is this Broadsword of the Bear. 3 stam, 2 strength, and just under 14 DPS. So big opportunity to be able to get an upgrade there. I'm going to have to find something, but everything I can find suggested for this particular slot is actually going to be like a world drop. Diesel's Basher, the Head Splitter. There's a couple of other items that are recommended, and you go and look for these like on the auction house. We'll go ahead and take a look right now. Head Splitter. Actually, none here. Again, it's going to be those items that are just significantly overpriced. It's going to be a waste. And this may actually just be good enough. You know, DPS does matter for tanks, but at the same time, you know, really the tank's job is going to be more holding aggro so that the DPS can go all out in a setting like Classic. So not super worried about it, but I could definitely look for something a little bit better. Even if it's just like a level 24 or level 25 green item, there's definitely going to be something that should be better. And then taking a look at the shield here, I think Commander's Crest is just something good to target. Again, this is going to be in Shadowfang Keep, so actually 2 items there. The Silverlane Family Seal and Commander's Crest. So it looks like Shadowfang Keep is what we're going to target. There's going to be a couple of potential upgrades that we can get there. Sure would be nice to get them both in the same run. But the Commander's Crest ought to be good enough. You know, again, it's probably not necessarily best in slot for the pre-raid. Oh, 5 gold for the recipe. But it's going to be better than what I have. I've got the Bastion of Stormwind. This was a quest reward from the Paladin quest as you were on your way to getting Varrigan's Fist. So definitely would like to get a replacement there. And what else are we looking at here? 2-handed weapon, I've actually got Varrigan's Fist. And I've already got the Rune of Duty. So pretty much I need to figure out something along the lines of what to do with my head. Although I think I would be happy if I didn't have a headpiece at all. I don't know if I'd be able to actually get into a raid without a headpiece. Satisfied with chest. Shoulders can be a little bit better, but you know what we've got seems okay. Our gloves, again, I think we could potentially just buy those the green iron gloves that I had pulled up. Actually, I think they're green iron gauntlets. They are green iron gauntlets. So potentially we could just spend a gold on these, but likely what I'll do is I'm planning on running Shadowfang Keep anyway. I think I'm probably just going to run it, and you know, potentially there's like a green item that drops that could be, you know, similar to this, maybe even on the same level as this that could be good. And let's see, the neck we're good with the Scout's Medallion and the cloak. So outside of the cloaks that are listed here, Slayer's Cape and Cape of the Brotherhood, I think you can actually just find like a green Cape of the Bear that's level 24, level 25, that's 4 strength and 4 stam. But the issue there again is just going to be that people are really, really overcharging for this stuff. But we'll take a quick look. Back piece, and we want of the Bear, and then we want, we'll say level 23 to 25. So you can get 4-3, but again, look at this, like 3 gold plus for, you know, 2 stam and 1 strength. 24, so I guess pretty sure that so there's actually no level 25 on here, but I do think, so here's a level 24 that's 4 and 4, so again, I mean, the 2-3 to upgrade that to 4-4, there's just really not a lot of stats there. And then the armor difference is negligible as well. So again, it's kind of like, it's not that big of an upgrade. It's not going to do that much for us. So do we really even need to upgrade it? At some point, it just comes down to impressing the people that you're trying to raid with. Chest piece, we're good. Talked about these, the jimmied handcuffs, rare spawn in the stock. So probably a stockade run. The green iron gauntlets. I spelled iron wrong. Yeah, the green iron gauntlets. I could just go ahead and buy these, I guess. It's my cheat bone acting up again. Basically, this just adds 6 stamina. So I am going to go ahead and buy those. So we're good on gloves. We're good on belt. We got one of the belts from the list. We're good on legs. Boots, I'm going to say we're fine. Some of the recommended boots only have like 2 more stamina. Not necessarily worried about that. Protector's Band is good. Demon Band is okay. I think the Silver Lane Family Seal is probably better. So pretty much like a Shadowfang Keep run, or a few runs. We just need to get the shield, and we're going to want the ring. Both items at Shadowfang Keep. And then we'll figure out something for the bracers, and then we should be pretty much, I think, good to you know, start looking to get into BFD. So I am in a guild that's running BFD. I haven't actually joined them yet, and I'm not sure necessarily what they're looking for as far as gear. But I think we should be good. Just by virtue of the fact that it would be a guild run, I would think. Although it's not like, you know... Go ahead and equip these guys. And I'm going to use Crusader Strike. Sure I don't forget to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and tank Shadowfang Keep. I could DPS or tank. I think I want to tank. Just so that way hopefully nobody would roll against me if the shield drops. If there's another class that could use the shield. So I'll get my runes set up to tank. And then I'm going to keep the Divine Storm here as well. So the other thing is, taking a look back over here. So we've got this, this is one of the options for runes, and I kind of don't like it. I don't think you need Consecrate. Or if you were going to run Consecrate, then I would think that there's quite a few things you want to do differently. If we're going to be running Divine Storm, I really don't think we need Consecrate. Divine Storm is kind of like our, AoE, get aggro, and then we also have Avenger Shield, so as long as we're not like reckless with the Avenger Shield, because it is like a 30-second cooldown, then we should be fine. I don't think you really need the Consecrate, because you're kind of wasteful with some of your other choices. And then they also have like improved Devotion Aura. Just doesn't really seem all that spectacular as far as I'm concerned. So what I've got, and I'm actually, I guess, going to turn the camera off here so we can see it, but so I've got all my points actually in Retribution. This is something that I saw somewhere else. So again, we're going for the cheaper mana cost. We don't want to run into mana problems. Lower the cooldown on Judgment. That's going to help us a little bit with damage. The 5% parry is probably going to be better than extra armor on Devotion Aura. And then it's also going to be better than, like, the strength or potentially like blocking from redoubts. 5% parry should just be really, really good as far as making us more survivable. Seal of Command, it's going to help us with damage and to be able to hold aggro. I just prefer the movement speed. I don't know that you necessarily need it, but the movement speed is nice. These points could actually just come straight over into a Conviction for extra critical strike chance. Give up a little bit, or the only mobility that we have is the extra run speed, just to be able to get the extra crit for the damage here. So that's currently what I'm running as far as the talents. But I've seen like consecration builds, I've seen ret builds, I've seen suggested actually running like a protection build, which maybe at this point makes less sense than anything else, because I mean, these are trash after being the victim of critical strike. And then, I mean, you don't want this. Increased armor value or so low level, it's not going to make that much of a difference. Chance to hit with your weapons could be good, but likely we're going to be fine anyway. And that's just like with melee swing, so I guess it wouldn't affect Judgment. And you get down here, damage absorbed by your shield. There's really just not anything compelling in protection. So I think I'm pretty happy with where we're at as far as that goes. So now it's just going to be a matter of trying to find a group for Shadowfang Keep. I'm going to get into the looking for group. And let's see. Tank, looking for group, SFK. And I'm just going to go ahead and head over to the flight path and start getting on over towards the instance. I would heal if you set up a group. Sounds good to me. Why is his health so low? Alright, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and get flying before I do this.
What can I do for you?
To South Shore. 4-3 DPS SFK. Should be pretty easy to find the DPS once you have like the tank and the healer. People ought to be coming in. I don't understand. Like, is this guy role-playing or something? Or is there some kind of a bug with the party interface? Because this guy's showing 552 health as a level 25. Surely that can't be right. Let's see. Level 25 warrior. Fun. So we still need 2 more DPS. Hopefully this guy doesn't try to, if the shield drops, hopefully they don't need on it. I guess that's always a chance that you're potentially taking, but it is what it is. Generally speaking, I think people are really cool about, for randoms and pug runs and stuff like that, just needing for your main spec, or you know, if you do need something for your off-spec, you know, people tend to ask first, hey, do you need that? And whatnot. Go back and spam again. 2 DPS for SFK, and good to go. Man, this guy might actually have, or I guess does have, some pretty decent gear. Has almost the same amount of stamina that I have as the tank. My stuff's not great, but I'm not like super slouching here. If I block will be good.
Join our group. They can't join our group.
Are you in a group or raid? Can't invite. Sick DPS. So let's see, we got a warlock, warrior, we got a rogue, and then we have our priest healer. So that was pretty easy. Looks like somebody's already up there. So we've got, yeah, 3 people still here. And it's going to be a couple of minutes before we can get everybody up there. And potentially we can keep this group together for a couple of runs. Because I need... Man, it'd be nice to get both the drops that I need in one run, but I actually ran Shadowfang Keep, I think twice earlier today. And, just not seeing the gear drop, so it might take multiple runs, but if we can get consecutive runs, it should go pretty fast. I mean, I would expect everybody in the group is level 25, so hopefully we should just be mowing it down. What is this, man? This is where people kill me. I'm spamming looking for group, and now this person's acting like they don't know what the instance is. Oh, okay. Sometimes people play games, man. It's like really, really weird to me. Oh, I didn't know we were doing SFK. And then they drop out of the group. The problem is, if that's like your tank or your healer, sometimes those roles can be harder to find. So it's one of the good things about being a tank. And also healing. I like healing too, but I don't know how healing is in Season of Discovery. I haven't actually tried it yet, but with the level cap being what it is, even with the new runes, I've kind of wondered if classes are having issues with mana. Like, do you just go So I know, like, the dungeon runs that I've done, there hasn't been any problems. I'm not sure, like when I run with a priest, I'm not sure that they ever even have to stop and drink. I don't think I've ever actually noticed that happening. But, you know, when you get into the raid, it could be a little bit different as far as having to drink. Drinking is like the worst, man. Having to stop and drink is just really, really unenjoyable. Even more so, like when I'm in red spec and I'm trying to quest, and then I'm out of mana and I have to stop and drink as a DPS spec. It's just not necessarily fun. So hopefully, that's something that'll change as like phase 2 and then eventually phase 3 comes around. Once you get up to level 40 as a level cap, hopefully that problem kind of fixes itself. But I think when I'm ret, it's like if you're spec'd for exorcism, I feel like, honestly, in a lot of content, I feel like you don't need the interrupt. And when you're thinking about Black Fathom Deeps, if you have enough interrupts, you could actually just spec into exorcism and add this to your DPS rotation. But at 85 mana, it's going to be a little bit, you know, expensive. possibly a little bit intense on the mana, but for a red DPS rotation, Exorcism, Divine Storm, and then just like judging and refreshing your seals, you run out of mana really fast. I have to make Summoning Stones work again. The thing is, like, so this is the guy that doesn't want to go to the Summoning Stone. He wants the Summoning Stone to work so that somebody else can summon him, not so that he can help get the party there more quickly. Yeah, I think... So I haven't played, like, Classic since, like, the original Classic. Which would go back to, like, 2006, I guess, before Burning Crusade launched. But I remember, like, meeting stones that you could get in a list of people looking for a group to try to make it easier to find a party, but you couldn't actually summon. And I don't remember when summoning came into the game, like from the Summoning Stones. But from what I can see now, like, I see meeting stones at some of the instances, but it's like they don't do anything. So I don't know if that's a bug or a feature or what. This is something I think about a lot too. They're talking about quality of life things in the party chat. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for quality of life changes. But every quality of life change that you make kind of moves the game closer to... moves the game closer to retail. Which isn't necessarily something that I want, and I'm not sure how popular it would be, because if you want to play retail, you know, just go play retail. This is supposed to be something a little bit different. Hey, Cax, nice to see you. Pretty sure I could kill that hunter. But, didn't have fun with the classic version. I thought classic was fun. Started on Wrath. Back to Classic, I started and stopped on BC. Gold buying is the meta. Do people buy gold for, like, Season of Discovery? Main Warlocks, it's Wrath of the Lich King. That's something else that's always been like a foreign concept to me with World of Warcraft, is maining a class. Because at some point, I just want to do something different. So playing like only or maining a class, I guess you have alts and that's when you do something different, but still having like an actual main has always been foreign to me. I think I've mained probably every different class in different different patches and different expansions throughout the course of the game. These runs are also where the 8% movement speed help out. Pursuit of Justice, rename it to Pursuit of Gear. But check this out, man. I've talked about this before, but look at my guy, man. Broad shoulders. He's got this big, heavy shield on his back, man. Looks like he's in good shape. But you get the side view? My guy has been skipping leg day. Like, how is he carrying all this, like, sword and shield and wearing all this heavy armor on legs like that, man? Like, that ain't it. You gotta do some squats and some deadlifting or something. Guy's been, like... I don't know what he's doing. But it ain't working legs. Maybe the squat rack hasn't been invented in the World of Warcraft yet. Some goblin is going to figure it out and make a fortune. And the other bad thing about summoning stones... Alright, it looks like... Yeah, everybody's on the way. But you have some people, man, that the runs that I went on earlier, I thought we were going to have an issue with one of the people that was in the group because he said something like, I got time to pick up a Briarthorn since I'm not last. One of the guys that was in the group I was in earlier was like in Westfall, and we had a full group, and he didn't start moving toward the instance. This was SFK. And I'm sitting there, and I'm checking the map, and I'm like, what is this guy doing? I'm starting to get impatient, but I'm not the group leader. But it's kind of like a respect for other people's time kind of thing, you know? Like, you joined the group, you want to run this, how come you're not on the way? And then they say, let me know if there are any warlocks when you get there. We didn't have a warlock in the group. Let me know if there are any warlocks in the, or at the instance to summon. And fortunately there was. We had to turn into a raid, invite a warlock, summoned, and then I guess he paid the guy. But, you know, what if there wasn't a warlock and you're still on the other side of the world with, like... I'm talking too much again. You know, with like a 5, 7, 8 minute travel time to be able to get here, and then everybody else is just looking at each other outside the instance. And realistically, you could probably run this with 4 people. If one of the DPS doesn't show up, you could probably just go ahead and get started, and it's fine. But I mean, this is... I put this buff on when I left South Shore, so it's 5 minutes run from South Shore to here, and that's with extra move speed. So anybody that's running at like base speed, it's going to be, what, 6 minutes? 5 minutes and 45 seconds, something like that? Oh, man, you got to be kidding. Wonder what my,
I need to get closer.
I thought 100 is what it was. It's my alchemy. Or herbalism is at 93. Bet the robe drops. Yeah, I saw the robes dropped both times on the runs that I did earlier. I need to get out of this looking for group channel. Filling up my chats. Keybinds reset if you rebound auto run. Run is not working. Dude, if your auto run is not working, your hand is going to be tired before you can ever even get here. Sometimes the client bugs and resets them. So I've had this weird issue, man. I don't know if anybody else has had this, but where I go to the BattleNet launcher and I launch World of Warcraft, and supposedly there's an instance of it running, but I can't see it. Like, I can't Alt-Tab to it. It doesn't come up. If I go in Task Manager, it shows that World of Warcraft is running, but I can't interact with the app at all. And that happens on a regular basis. And I looked it up online. Apparently it's an issue. I don't know what causes it, but there was a couple of steps where, like, you go through and delete one of the folders. And the first time I did that, it worked like a charm. I didn't have a problem. But then, like, the second, third, and fourth time, I've had a little bit of issues. Like being able to... I don't want to say getting the game to run, because supposedly it's running. I just can't interact with it. It's so weird. Never seen it with anything else. But yeah, no auto run. It's tough. Alright, so I guess while I'm waiting for everybody else to get here, who's last? My gosh, that's not even the guy that's last. I think this is the... He's not moving. Oh yeah, he is. He's moving slow, man. Surely this guy isn't swimming up here. Like, he has the flight path, right? I don't think he has the flight path. Like, the flight path isn't that slow. So now you got somebody that's joining an instance group that doesn't even have the closest flight path. He's literally swimming. He's literally swimming. And that's our warlock, too, I think. It is. I gotta call him out. There's no way he's on a flight path. He's absolutely swimming. Now he's offline. On a Girin. I don't care if it's spelled wrong. Nah, man, he was in the, You can still see him on the map. Oh, looks like the guild has started the BFD run. Baron Aquanus. I think that's the first boss. Seems like a pretty straightforward boss. Where you'll get messed up is if somebody gets the debuff and doesn't jump off. If somebody gets the debuff and the knockback goes off and hits everybody in the water. Let's see. Rear. Rogue. So I'm actually going to purposefully not use the, Oh, that's right. I don't have the, I don't have Righteous Fury, and I don't have the Hand of Reckoning. Let's see. Reckoning goes on... Where does it go? Oh, it goes here. That's going to make it easier with, it's going to make it easier to hold aggro. But I'm purposefully not going to use the Avenger Shield here. On certain pulls. Just because I want to have it for kind of like emergencies. Again, like this, the content is so easy, I'm not sure that you actually need it though. I must just not be taking damage because I have no mana. Hey Mohammed, long time no see. I'm doing well. I hope you are too. Drag this guy with us. And I guess we'll go ahead and pull these. Man, there's like no buttons without Crusader Strike. Crusader Strike is also how I should be getting mana back. Maybe that's what it was, because I didn't have the, because I didn't have the ability up. Look, I'm not taking damage. Let's see. Please don't shield. Healing me gives me mana. That's why we're not gaining mana, because the priest is using the shield on us. Wisdom on the priest. Yeah, no Hearthstone, Mohammed. We're taking a little break from Hearthstone, man. Wasn't really enjoying Hearthstone, so I had to find something else to do with my time.
I can't cast that yet.
So, I thought I would check out Season of Discovery. It's, seems like it's going to be over relatively quickly. Because there's not a whole lot to do with the level cap. I think I was standing like too far out towards the middle. We ended up pulling too much. But it actually just doesn't matter. Again, because the content is so easy. Agree with you, Standard became toxic with the new decks. Take a quick drink here and then we'll roll on.
That's still buffs and 6 nerfs arising tomorrow.
Oh. They're wanting the bags off the horses. And there's like actually no buttons to press. Auto attack Paladin. May I have your attention, please? Purchased diamond version with money, and now it's nerfed. Yeah, I think last time they had to nerf a diamond card, it was, I think they gave him like a bunch of dust or something, right? Keep things moving here. Man, you almost have to look at this. Man, it's so low. Something's like stealing my mana, it seems like. Who spent their money, it's a scam. Yeah, and that was kind of one of the things that I felt about... Yeah, this thing's got like some kind of mana steal or something. Every time it hits me. But it almost felt like a bait and switch with the way they would, you know, sell a pre-order and a new expansion, and then almost immediately start changing the cards. Got a need on that. It's just better than what I've got. Nice. Just having to drink so much. Free to play, feel bad for those that got trolled. Yeah, and I was one of the ones, I was spending like $275 a year or something on Hearthstone, so I was kind of one of the ones that was getting trolled a little bit. Just because I was buying like the big pre-order, and then I was also buying the mini set as well. Man, not one single one of those mobs got hit by the, stupid Divine Storm. Maybe that's why you need Consecrate, in case of blocks and parries. Even with the changes, it feels like it's not as easy to hold aggro as I would. Oh, that's why I'm not hitting anything. I forgot that you actually had to level up your stuff. Maybe I just stay on it and level it up here in the instance.
It's too far away.
Stop and drink again. That's crazy, man. I am gonna have to switch back to the other weapon, I guess. It's because it's causing issues. I can't hold aggro because I'm not actually hitting anything here. Do that while silenced. Come on, bro. Get me in the game, coach. Game, let me do something. Man.
I need to get out around the buffs. Alright, I'm gonna save the judgment so I can pull the boss. So to become greedy people, buy a big and small bundle and get 2 to 3 legendaries. I feel like I got lucky with the bundles as far as the legendaries most of the time, but I just didn't like, you know, hype up a new expansion for months and then, you know, pull the rug out from under you and start changing the cards. And then you would end up playing like the same decks for just absolutely ever. Like Miracle Rogue just seemed like it was a 2 years deck. I gave up the high ground. I don't think high ground actually matters in World of Warcraft, though. And I keep getting silenced. I can't tell because I don't typically look at my keybinds. I can't tell if my skills are on cooldown or if I'm actually just silenced. Without actually having to stop and stare at the keyboard. Or at the bottom of the screen, at least. Yeah, Season of Discovery may not last too long until they increase the level cap. For the classic stuff. Like being silenced and not being able to use any of your abilities just seems kind of weird.
That spell.
Should be enough.
I think I don't even mind getting hit in the back here. If it allows me to, like, move on to the next pull.
I need to get closer.
But without Consecration, I've noticed it is more likely that the DPS will pull something off of you because people aren't attacking the same targets.
everybody should just focus the target that I'm attacking. And with the interface that's in Classic WoW, I think I'd have to install another add-on to be able to mark targets. Also, the 5-minute buffs are a pain. Like, having to continuously refresh as a Paladin is not really all that fun. Then there's a lot of times where I feel like I'm in like a mana saving rotation. Like, I could use other damaging abilities, but then I just go and have to drink. Pure Pally's still crushing it. There was somebody else telling me about Pure Paladin from Hearthstone. That it was just way too good. I'm assuming that's some of the cards that are being nerfed. Hey Teddy, nice to see you again. Bubble Boy. Man, every time you say that, it makes me think about Seinfeld, the episode of Seinfeld where they went to go visit the Bubble Boy. Also, like, these guys are, when they do pull aggro, they're like way out there instead of running to the tank to make it easier for me to get it back. So then I end up running around, getting hit in the back, taking more damage. You just don't have enough skills that hits multiple stuff. Or the cooldowns on it are too long. So I almost have to, like, switch targets every couple of hits just to make sure that I'm doing damage to everything. Like, this wolf could potentially pull off.
That spell isn't.
Yeah, with this being such a long cooldown, like, I don't even want to use it as part of my DPS rotation unless it's on a boss. Because, like, I might need it on the next pull to be able to pull from range. I gotta be careful about how I'm running up these steps, too, because I'm gonna LOS the healer. Although, again, I don't think I'm really taking enough damage to be super concerned about it. So it should just be fine. And the good news is, like, the healer isn't really having to stop and drink. Get just a couple of hits and then finish it off.
dares interfere with the sons of Aragal?
And the bosses, like, they don't even do anything in these instances, including damage. But basically, you can't tell the difference between between a boss and a regular mob, other than the boss has more health and takes longer to kill. But I guess all of Classic was like that. Like, even all the way up to Molten Core. I think I watched the video of, like, the very first Ragnaros kill in World of Warcraft Classic when the game came out, and there was, like, at least one guy that was just totally AFK. Half the classes didn't do anything, like, damage-wise. It's just super easy. Then you compare that to like where retail WoW is now. Running around with my bags open. It's like going around with your fly open. Sip your fly, bro. Rogues do 200 DPS. I think I was watching a stream, and there was a rogue that really was putting out a ton of DPS. Rogues and I guess warriors, once they get gear and enough levels. Alright, let's pull the boss. I don't think he has a condition that I can dispel. $220 DPS with quest swords. Hey, have a good night, Mohammed. Appreciate you stopping by. Game sticks at 25, but the PvP is balanced? Is it? I don't know if it is or not. First round of buffs before the last boss. Need to be on Discord to survive.
You too shall serve.
I can't cast that yet.
Release your rage.
And this guy drops the robes every time. I've never seen him drop anything but the robes. Most people can't mark. Mark, master loot. And log raid stats. I don't know, man. It's... I'm not sure I totally agree with that. Marking definitely helps, but the reason why I say that is because the last time I played WoW, I was playing retail, and it was when Castle Nathria was the last raid. Sire Denathrius was the last boss, and I was raiding. I wasn't doing Mythic, but I was raiding Heroic. And we did some marking, but not very much, especially like once everybody knew the fight. You didn't necessarily have to mark as much. I guess you're probably right. Oop, I went the wrong way. Still going the wrong way. Good thing I've got a bubble. But the, it almost feels like they made retail WoW, like, artificially hard. Alright, let's see. For heals and DPS, SFK. Sure that actually went through. We're gonna have to run again. Need to get the shield out of this thing, and potentially the ring. Look at this guy. So this is almost like a job interview, right? Like, you want to get the job as a DPS in a party. This is what this guy tells me. All green and blue. He's like, yeah, don't take those other people that still have white gear. I've got all greens and blues. That's awesome. Let's see. Keybond Skull and DPS will melt your target faster. Yeah, that's a good point. I probably should do that. Shaman Tank I always mark first. Did a long time ago. Tomb of Sargeras. I actually never did that raid. I was taking a break from WoW when that came out.
They can't
Fight this
join our
person.
group.
Hopefully people will whisper. Did looking for group Sargeras and Legion and quit. Yeah. 2019, I played 2 days at launch on a rogue. 25 we're at Pally. Let's see, we got a healer. And I'll take another Pally as well. Oh. Shadow Priest. Who said they were healing? Hash Brown. Okay, so we should be good. Just have to wait for everybody to get here. And, let's see. Key bindings. What would it be under? Ah, target markers. Assign skull. Should be good enough. That was a good call out, man. I appreciate that. There's so many things that you can do in retail that you can't do in classic. I didn't even know that was still a thing. It's going to take a little bit for these guys to get here. Person to ever actually consider keybinding correctly after suggesting it to 25 different streamers and developers. I mean, you made a great point. Not even lore can mark fast. Well, yeah, it's if you don't have it on the keybinds, then you're having to right-click the portrait to be able to assign skull. That's not going to happen either. One of the issues that I'm going to run into is that the key bindings I have it set on are not going to be convenient for me to be able to reach. But it won't be all that bad. Lore was fired from WoW, now he's on YouTube streaming. Hey. You know, sometimes, I've heard it said before, and I think I agree with this, sometimes being fired can be one of the best things that can happen to a person, because it opens up opportunities to do something else. There was a guy that I work with who got fired, deservedly so, and I hadn't seen him in a couple of months, but I talked to somebody else that saw him, and they were like, yeah, he's doing great, he's got a new job, he's making more money, he was in a toxic relationship, he got out of that, so he's generally happier and making more money, and has a job that he enjoys more now. So hopefully Laura is going to be in a good spot moving forward. You have time for the extra 3 clicks per minute. You're underestimating my APM, or you're overestimating my APM. I'm only making like 20 clicks a minute. I don't know if I have an extra 3 clicks or not. 59 spells per minute, or 62 if you count marking. Yeah. Boomer. Although, with this rotation, I got a lot of time considering I'm mainly auto-attacking, it feels like, so much of the time. Oh. Got to reset the instance as well. Or, I guess somebody went inside. Like we got 2 guys on the way. Let's see. Enhanced Shaman Expert here. Now that is one thing about the Season of Discovery, and I guess it's just because it was a thing in Classic, but Horde, no Paladins, and Alliance, no Shaman. Because when I saw Shaman tank, and I saw the Cone of Fire, whatever it's called, ability, it reminded me of like Brewmaster. And I was like, oh, that's going to be really cool. But I've been Alliance since like 2007, when some people I work with were playing, and I started playing with them in their guild, and they were on the Alliance side. So I don't know like anything about the Horde side, like questing routes and where stuff is. I don't know any of that stuff. So when it came to Season of Discovery, I was like, yep, I'm just going Alliance. Try to go with what I know. Orc Shaman, best spirit in long DPS fights, no Orc Spirit is the highest of all Shaman. Yeah, I had no clue about that. Actually, now that you mentioned Spirit, got a bunch of junk in here. I got these mistletoe things from the seasonal event. I think it's like 20 Spirit. You have to actually use it, of course. BOE. I could, if I could find some stuff to swing at, I could try to start or continue leveling my one-handed axes so that I can actually use this thing. Which would be nice. But there's no mobs like anywhere close, and I don't want to go too far away. So I gotta remember that. I'd forgotten that you have to level up like weapons and stuff. So many things from Classic that I didn't remember because it's been so long. We... ended up with a few BOEs. I gotta make sure I don't like sell this thing. Delete it or something. Started February 2005, Dire Mall patch. I started in 2006. In probably like the summer of 2006. I just remember I played Classic for like 4 or 5 months before Burning Crusade released. Something like that, maybe 6 months. And I never hit max level in Classic. So then in Burning Crusade, oh, nice. In the Burning Crusade, I was playing Hunter. I hit level 70, did a little bit of raiding, but I didn't go much past like tier 4, which was the lowest tier of Burning Crusade, if I remember right. And then Wrath of the Lich King. I was in a guild with a group of people that I just really enjoyed hanging out with. We did everything in Wrath. And then it kind of fell apart, man. Like, people left. They weren't playing anymore. And then Cataclysm for me was a dud. It killed WoW. And then I really enjoyed Mists of Pandaria. I thought it brought it back. People were like Kung Fu Panda expansion and all kinds of stuff like that, but I really liked it. I liked the atmosphere. I liked the theme. I didn't mind Mists of Pandaria at all. I played Warlock for that. And in fact, I still have the achievement, but I was the Realm First level 90 Warlock on the Realm that I was on. I took that day off work. I got up at like, it was 3 a.m. for me when it launched, so I went to sleep, got up at like 2:45, immediately started leveling, and it took quite a few hours. I wasn't Realm First level 90, but I was for the Warlock, and I think I've got the Feat of Achievement. That's another thing I find that is missing that I want to look up, is like the feats of strength and achievements and stuff. There's no achievements in SOD. Servers open June 2005. Mid-Air, AQ Gates, World Race, Opera Oceanic. Nice. Winter 2014, Warlords of Draenor, level 90. No, I wasn't playing. I came back. I've like left and come back to WoW several times, but I wasn't playing during Warlords of Draenor, which everything I heard said, I came back maybe at the end or something, but everything I heard said you weren't really missing much because they went so long without patches. There was just no content for Warlords. Fake reviews. Yeah, but I was saying it was like much longer than normal between major patches. Maybe like a raid got delayed or something, and there just wasn't anything to do. And then the, what were they called? Garrisons? I don't know how those were received. They were okay. I had fun with the garrison. For me, it was just a way to try to make money. Try to get more gold on the, what was the blood called? Savage Bloods, maybe? Man, you could go, they would, like, vendor for 50 gold. People would sell them for 35 gold on the auction house. So I'd go in and just buy them all. And then I had a macro set up to sell them. I made quite a bit of gold like that. It was a bit time-consuming compared to other methods of making gold. Where I really made bank was when Inscription came out. I had the Inscription market locked down on the server that I was on when it came out, and it was back when the glyphs, when you used it, it was just gone forever, so people would have to buy another one. So like, you could tell when people got home from school and got home from work, because they would like either PvP or PvE, and then they were buying a bunch of glyphs, and then later in the day they were buying a bunch of glyphs again to get ready for the raids. Alliance garrison, not as nice. I actually don't know what the Horde garrisons even looked like. Never played it and just never looked at it. New kids say Mario Kart 64 is not good. Nah, that was a great game. Super Mario Kart was a good game too. On the Super Nintendo. I played a lot of Diddy Kong Racing as well. I like Diddy Kong Racing. Trying to catch the, trying to beat the NPC course record. Like you could see a shadow. Like TikTok was his name or something like that. Man, those were the good old days. GoldenEye. SNES card is now rated higher than 64. I don't know, man. I'd have to say I don't have an opinion. They were both great in the time that they came out. I think if you look at it from now, if you played both games like right now, the 64 version would be better. But when it came out, the SNES version was like insane compared to everything else that had been played at the time. Like these guys are almost here. Oh, our healer is a druid. Means I'm going to lose the fortitude buff. Guess it doesn't really matter. Hopefully level 21 isn't going to make a difference either. I didn't actually notice this guy's level until just now, but I'm sure it's fine. Should be able to burn through the instance pretty well. 1 million new WoW players next year, they hope. I don't know if they're ever going to get that many new WoW players, just because the game is so old. Like, everybody's heard of it. I feel like anybody that wanted to try WoW would have tried it by now. Alright. I'll let this guy handle might. And hopefully he uses Retribution Aura. Oh, baby, we got the skull. Look at this, man. I've got the skull marked, and I'm pretty sure the guy just totally ignored it and started attacking the wolf. Look at that. Look at my mana. I'm gonna have to drink after this pull. I hate drinking.
Well met. For the Alliance.
Also, it almost seems like you don't even need a tank. Like, they just ran in and, they just ran in while I was drinking. Oh, let me go ahead and... Oh, you can't use it on yourself, apparently. Alright, I gotta remember to stay over to the left this time. Dude, can I please stand up and, like, use an ability? Yeah, Teddy, you were definitely right. I do think that the, for the most part, the skull is making it so that people are attacking what I'm attacking a lot more. Definitely a good call out. I think I'm just gonna auto attack this guy. I forgot these things eat your mana, man. I don't know what it is. It must. I think it's the werewolf. I'm gonna have to drink after this pull. Please, game, give me some mana. So there's one more guy right here. Probably pulls with boss. Come on, ring. That's not a ring. That's wild, man. I'm having to drink significantly more this run than I did with a priest healer, and I'm not sure what the difference is. Oh yeah. Forgot about this, I actually can't use abilities. Free! Man, aggro runs wild because I'm like permanently silenced.
It's too far away. The village.
Look at this. It's just always up. Ooh. Hopefully nobody rules against me. Nice. So that was definitely one of the items that we were here for. And then the other one was the, the other one was the ring, but I feel like I could do without the ring. Like, I think we actually just have enough to be able to raid with. Kinda depends on, like, how snobbish the, Look at that, man. You're not attacking the skull, brother. Also, why is the taunt, like, melee range?
Eee. And the drawback of the shield is that I'm not going to be taking as much damage, which means not as much healing, which means not as much mana. Having mana tied to healing is interesting. Like, in theory, when I heard about it, I was like, oh, this is great. But I'm not sure how it's actually playing out. Like, the better gear you have, the less mana you're going to have. Kind of a drawback of like gear. Gotta have a quick drink. Good enough.
It's too far away.
Dude, again, with the no mana. Eee. You just don't have enough buttons to press, man. Like, you lose aggro, you have to be in melee range to be able to taunt. And then, at some point, all of your spells are on cooldown and you just have nothing to press. You're, like, auto-attacking, hoping that you can get aggro somehow. I guess that's like a self-correcting problem. As the level cap increases, but it definitely makes it interesting in these early levels.
don't even think I'm stopping to loot. I guess I don't really need, like, the trash that's coming off of this stuff. But in the interest of, like, keeping up the speed and the run... Looks like our healer's gonna need time to drink. The curse, I think, the curse is a mage thing? Yeah, I think people think paladins can clear curses, and they can't.
Who dares interfere with the sons of Aragal?
Oh, druids and mages. I didn't know druids could decurse. Is that, I wonder if that's a classic thing that changed, or is that just like a thing? Boom, boom, boom. Look at these. Like, why is this guy? Oh, okay. That's why he's taking damage. I was wondering why the healer was taking damage. Like, I was trying to see if there was a another mob that had aggro, but it's those curses that hit every 60 seconds. That thing hits hard, too. You gotta be careful with that. Dude, again, just running around with my fly open. Having a hard time pulling aggro off this Paladin. I guess I'll drink. I need to drink and, well, the healer needs to drink as well, but then I'm going to throw out a last set of buffs. We'll finish this up, man. Boss almost down. Got the shield.
Free!
You too shall serve. Release your rage.
Well, that was a successful run being able to pick up the shield, so we can cross that off the list. So honestly, at this point, it feels like how picky are people going to be when it comes to the raid and gearing. I guess, so I briefly looked into the raid, and the mechanics look pretty easy. The only thing that I saw, and I'm not sure if it's true, but that the boss number 6, Kelris, is like a DPS check. I don't know if that's true or not, but if you don't have enough gear, then that could make a difference there. Honestly, I don't know if I would be running it as a tank or as a DPS anyway. I guess just whatever the group needs. Also not totally sure why I'm running out. I'm probably going to Hearth anyway, because... well, maybe not. I think my Hearth is actually set to Astronar, and I think I want to go to Stormwind. Or like Stockade runs. So is it faster to Hearth to Astronar and take a boat to the wetlands? Or is it going to be faster to run to South Shore and take a Griffin to the wetlands? The options aren't good either way, I don't think. It'd be nice if they had a flight path at all the instances, but I guess it just wouldn't be classic WoW if it was quick to be able to get to places. But that gives us time to review where we're at. So I still don't have a helm. If I'm going to have one to get into the raid, I guess I'm going to end up doing the quest chain in Duskwood. It's just, I'm trying to avoid it. There's so much back and forth, and it looks like for some of the parts you're going to need a group, but I mean, it hasn't been all that hard to find groups to do quests like that. Usually there's people around that are either working on the quest or, you know, they're doing something else and they don't mind helping, so maybe I'm making too much of that. Necklace, I think we're fine. Shoulders. Actually, when I'm in South Shore, I'm going to check the vendor. There's like some 5/5 or 6/6 strength stamina shoulders that you can buy from a vendor there. It's like one of those limited supply things. So if those are available, I can just go ahead and buy it. I think they're maybe like a gold and a half. But that'll be better than strength and spirit, I think. Otherwise, it's probably just looking at the auction house for a green of the bear. Back piece, Sergeant's Cape, probably too much grinding. I'm not gonna be able to get there. So again, you'd be looking for something of the bear. They go up to 4 strength, 4 stam, but
last time I looked, people are just charging what I would consider to be crazy amounts of gold for what it actually is. We've always got time for Briarthorn. Oh man, I thought somebody got it. And really like 2 stam and 1 strength doesn't make enough of a difference anyway for it to be a big deal. So again, it's going to depend on how picky the raid leader is, or the group is. Chest, I think we're fine. There are better options that have more strength. The breastplate from Wailing Caverns, and then also there's a crafted one. But I mean, this is perfectly fine for a paladin, I think. The strength isn't there, but it has more stamina than the other options. So maybe it's a little bit better for tanking, I don't know. Maybe you just don't need the stamina when you're tanking. But I'm going to say we're fine. Bracers, jimmied handcuffs from the stocks. I can run the stocks and try to find those. If nothing else, it would just be like a green off the auction house. I think we're good here. So this is actually one of the better options. I think you can buy some that have like 2 more stamina, but it's not super compelling. That ring is good. I think this ring is fine. The Silverlane Family Seal would have been nice from SFK, but I don't know how many Shadowfang keep runs I want to do for a ring. Oh, yeah. I still need to level one-hand axes, but I've got this weapon now. It's not great, but I like this option better than going to the auction house. Like, basically, all of the one-handed weapons that I looked up are world drops. And, of course, everybody knows that, so they're ridiculous prices on the auction house. Like, not even worth it, because as soon as you get, like, a couple of BFD clears, you're going to replace the weapon anyway. Or you're going to replace probably all or almost all of the gear. So there's no reason to, like, spend all your gold on that. Trinket's fine, so it feels like we're pretty close. I don't have enchants on anything. So people might want to see your gear enchanted as well, and like a shield spike on the shield. But again, like the numbers are so small and classic, none of this stuff really makes all that much of a difference. Which is why I keep saying, you know, this is good enough, that's good enough. But maybe if you add up everything, all the small improvements, it's big enough to cause problems. I think I'm going to, if I don't actually run with my guild, I'm going to put in the chat, like, 0 of 7 experience. Don't even know the boss's names. But I'll have a instance guide open while we run. Will not fail mechanics. No enchants, bare minimum consumables. Wonder how hard I get roasted. Alright, I think this is the guy.
Do for you.
Mighty chain pants. I'm pretty sure this is the guy. There's a 4th option that's the shoulders that are limited quantity. These pants aren't bad. Like if you hadn't completed the quest line yet. But I don't know that you're ever going to come up here before you do the dead mines. Alright, so I can sell this. Definitely sell the trash. Soulbound, soulbound. Soulbound. I'm going to hang on to the one-handed sword until I get my axe skill up, just in case I need to switch back for a short amount of time. And then this is all stuff I'm going to throw on the auction house. Get rid of that as well.
Good one. Looking for something specific?
Nope.
See you later.
Oh, there's also... Yeah, there's one other thing I think that I want to get while I'm here, but I'm going to have to look up exactly where the vendor is, but I think the recipe for Shadow Protection Potion is here. Or one of the places. It is. A little bit west of the river. It's like right around in here somewhere. So I'm going to run up there and actually check that vendor and see if that pattern is available before I head back down to Stormwind. And then we're going to be looking to, I guess, run the stockade a couple of times. See if we can get those jimmied handcuffs. I don't think this guy sells anything. Yeah, there's like a vendor up here somewhere. I decided to take alchemy. I don't know. Part of me wanted to go blacksmithing just because the I think you have to have blacksmithing for the epic breastplate. That's like best in slot right now. But I could always like switch over to blacksmithing at some point, or even drop herbalism and just run alchemy and blacksmithing. But I think alchemy ends up being a good way to make gold off of the consumables, because there's so many consumables. You know, everybody wants you to have consumables. It doesn't matter how easy the content is. You know, you gotta have your sharpening stone and stuff like that. But anyway, like the free action potions should be selling really well. Shadow protection potions, and then probably also rage potions. So I decided to go for alchemy just to try to make some gold. And then once you've got the gold... Good, I need to level my cleaver anyway. Got a long way to go. I wonder if I kill this thing auto-attacking or if it kills me first. If I just auto-attack for skills. But anyway, BFD resets every 72 hours, I think it is. So, on those days for sure, the consumables ought to be selling pretty well. And you know it's coming. So buy like cheap mats. And then throw a bunch of consumables on the auction house. Seems like a pretty low effort way to be able to make a decent amount of gold. And then with the gold, I've got the option of, I can actually just drop the herbalism, pick up blacksmithing, and then just buy the materials that I need to level blacksmithing, and then be able to do what I need to do. I can buy the enchantment mats to enchant stuff, I guess. Free. Dude, where's my dodges and my parries? Like, my defense is still good. Or my defense hasn't changed, it's just the attacking, right? Actually, I guess my defense is lower than it was because I was using the, I already sold the shield. But the shield that I had like +3 defense. It was from the Paladin quest. So my defense is actually 3 lower than it was. But like parry chance, dodge chance, all of that should be the same. Just feels like this thing is smashing me. At least the good thing about Paladin is you can heal yourself. So I'll do this one time, and then I should be good as far as, like, axe skills. Man, I found this thing when I was running Shadowfang Keep. I equipped it, and I forgot that my axe skills were level 1. So I just equipped it after it dropped, and then I'm like, okay, nice. Better than what I was using. And then all of a sudden I was like losing aggro and like dodge, parry, miss. I'm like, man, what's going on? And then I looked down and I saw it was like ranking up. I should probably at some point level up unarmed as well for when you get disarmed. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, you just do no damage for a couple of seconds. Come on, man. I guess I need to, now that I'm out of the instance, I guess I can put the Crusader Strike rune back on just to have another button to press and another way to be able to level axes. You know, I kind of wonder... Oh, it dropped off. I was going to say, it hadn't dropped off yet, so I was wondering if there was like maybe a bug or a funny interaction where Righteous Fury would continue to stay on even after you took off the rune for Reckoning. And it did for a little bit, but then it dropped off. Because then you could like cheese the game, go Hand of Reckoning, turn on Righteous Fury, and then switch to Crusader Strike so that you have Crusader Strike for... while you're tanking. That's got to be over here. But apparently you can't do that. I would love to have Crusader Strike. I feel like I really need an extra button. Oh man, I thought it was... Run! Don't know if I survived this or not. I do. Alright, so that was a wasted trip. I didn't realize that was actually Terran Mill. Oh. I wasn't paying attention, man. I was looking at my dang, that's a long run, too. I was looking at my other monitor. I didn't realize that was Terran Mill, so there's no way... So I'm going to have to buy that thing either off the auction house, or I can get it in Ashenvale. So that was kind of a wasted trip. But live and learn. Man, I can't imagine. I still can't imagine people playing hardcore WoW. Because it feels like there's so many things that can happen that aren't necessarily based on skill that can cause you to just die and lose your character. Like that was just me not paying attention. I didn't realize there was a patrol on the road. So it's totally avoidable. But it feels like, I mean, WoW was never designed for hardcore. It was just something that I guess the community did and wanted, and then Blizzard kind of shoehorned in an official version. So like in the Diablo games, I like hardcore. You know, I enjoy playing hardcore and everything's fine. I don't mind dying, but in World of Warcraft, there's just like some weird scenarios, man. Like if you're playing hardcore, I don't think you ever pug, like ever. Just because you can't trust people. Alright, we might as well try to get a few more levels on our axe skills here. And we actually need quite a few more levels. Baby hitting him with the bob and weave. That's weird, man. It feels like this mob is doing significantly less damage now that my skill in one-handed axes has gone up. Like, I wonder if your weapon skill affects your parry chance or something. I didn't think it did. I thought it was only offensive. But maybe it affects your defenses in some way as well. Or it could just be, I think that second one was level 23 and the first one was level 24, but there was a definite difference in the amount of defensive procs that I was seeing there. I'll check for the small guards still give rep to Exalted, ones that are 10 or 15 each. Pretty sure that's right. It's just the lieutenants that you don't get rep for anymore after you're revered.
I buy and trade.
Yeah. Somebody bought the pants.
See you around.
No shoulders, so I guess I don't know. I can't imagine coming up here camping to try to get the shoulders. So I'll probably just take whatever option I can find off the auction house. And you know, that kind of reminds me of something else. I'll see in chat people are saying that they're like pre-best in slots. This is what you see. Somebody in like looking for group and they're trying to find a BFD run and they say pre-best in slot, which I find a really hard time to believe because to get every single item pre-best in slot is almost like silly to me. Like there's no way you need your gear to be that good before you step foot in that raid. I just don't believe it. And then they also say like 7 of 7 experience, which supposedly it's a pretty small number of people that have finished BFD and would have that kind of experience, but like everybody in chat is 7 of 7 experience. Like, I'm not sure I believe that either. I think people are embellishing quite a bit. Which isn't surprising. But that's the kind of, you know, if you're going to pug, that's the chances that you take. But it's caused by the community, too. Like, looking for one member, they want 7 of 7 experience. Like, they always want 7 of 7. And the raid, it really just isn't that hard, man. The mechanics of the raid aren't that hard. But the community always does weird stuff where they want you to be... They almost want you to already have the raid gear before they let you join their pug. But I guess, like, the gear and supposedly having finished the raid are the only way you have to check whether or not a player is not going to be wasting your raid's time just wiping. But they take it like next level and go above and beyond. To the point that it's silly. Yeah, I wish on those runs I could have gotten the ring. I've never seen the ring drop, much less actually be able to win a roll on it. And it's... I'm not sure I want to commit to just continuously running, because the only difference is the Silver Lane ring, it's, what is it, 3 strength and 1 stamina more than this Demon Band's? Like, this Demon Band should get an honorable mention, and I've never seen it mentioned anywhere on like the pre-best in slot list for rings. But it's really not that much worse than some of the other stuff that they have on there. But I mean, just looking at these, I mean, this is good, or at least good enough. Definitely good enough, definitely. Boots. There's options that have slightly more stamina. I'm not sure, I don't know if you could find like 5/5 boots. I know there's 3 7s, 3 strength, 7 stamina. But in some of the slots, it's like so many of the items that are the best items before you get to the raid are these world drops. And it's just insane prices on the auction house. Which is another reason why I don't believe people when they say they're like fully pre-best in slot. Because so many of the classes, the best in slot is... there's world drops in it. And I just don't believe people are paying those kind of prices. Not en masse. Anyway, this is definitely good. I think that's passable. This is fine. I definitely need to do something here, though, which is probably the jimmied handcuffs, if I can get them. Shield is fine. Weapon's not great, but that's one of those BOE world drop slots that I'm just not going to be spending the money on. Mage healer is fun. I actually haven't looked into mage healing. And healing has always been interesting for me. Let's see if I can find a mage healer build. So, let's take a look at this. I guess healing is arcane spells. Chance, opponent can resist arcane spells. It's weird though, like again, this is kind of like a shoehorn thing. They shoehorned healing into mage, I guess because they wanted more options for healers, but there's no talents to support it in classic. Or in any version of World of Warcraft. So this is just like for leveling. Increase your damage with wands. Okay. I guess you can use your wand while you're not having to heal. At times. Could be fine. But that's why I think Druid can potentially... as the levels go up, I think Druid is going to be in a pretty good spot, because if you still have room to be able to run like Sunfire, then you should be able to put out a decent amount of damage as a Druid healer. You're just throwing out a couple of globals worth on damage for Sunfire, Moonfire, and then continuing healing. So it's going to have a really similar feel to Retail, I think. I'm just not sure how good Druid healing is exactly right now. Let's see. Again, you have to cast a damaging spell, so that's not going to be great. And then Arcane Explosion. Heal the target over 3 seconds and apply a Temporal Beacon. 80% of all arcane damage done by the caster will be converted to healing on Temporal Beacon. 80% of all arcane damage done. So you heal by dealing damage, so that's why these are useful for healing.
That makes more sense now. Reduced by half on self. Also reduced by 80% when damage is done by arcane explosion. Okay. Heal the target over 3 seconds. So you drop this heal, and then you just deal damage. You do your damage rotation. So it almost kind of has a feeling of like, I think Disciplined Priest was like that at one time, wasn't it? Like you healed off of the damage done by Smite or something like that. You have Arcane Blast. It's fine. And then Living Flame, which I'm assuming is fire. That's interesting. I think I'm going to I'm going to have to check out like a video or something and see exactly how good the, how good mage healing is. Oh, it was also Mistweaver. At times they had like fist weaving, where you would do attacks and that they could potentially heal your
Hey there.
heal your party or raid.
Farewell. Have a good one.
Just gonna turn that in. There's no way I'm going for the bronze bars. This is low level stuff. 10 slot bag. Could actually use a 10 slot bag. Kind of neglected my bags. I've got 2 8s and a 10, and then I've got the herbalism bag. I'd probably afford to get rid of the herbalism bag as well. Because even just a 10 slot bag, it's only 2 slots less, and you can put other stuff in it. But I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep herbalism as a talent either. I mean, as a profession. Try to sell that stuff.
See you around.
So I guess I want to see what kind of options there are on the auction house for a couple of the slots. Let's see, male wrist. 23 to 25. Luring male bracers. Here's of the bear. It's 2 stamina. It's just 2 stamina. Two and 1. Straight stam. And there's nothing fantastic. Again, it's kind of the same as like the same as the back. You're talking like 2 or 3 stats. So just a couple of stats for like this kind of gold. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get to that sergeant's cloak before I want to be actually starting to raid. Let's see, male shoulders. Defense is somewhat interesting if you're tanking. It's basically what I have. Now there's also, I think, a crafted option for paladins. Yeah, this is it. 8 stam and this. But again, when you look at the prices,
multiple of these auctions are less than 30 minutes. So, I mean, just nobody's buying that stuff. I think Elite Shoulders, this is the one that you buy from... It's actually pretty good, too. Not for that price, though, but this Elite Shoulders is the one that you buy off of the vendors. People have the price jacked way up. Because I think they're like a gold and a half on the vendor, maybe. But people are definitely camping for them. Like this guy, unless they were able to get him on the auction house because somebody just listed him really cheap. Look at that, man. Level 27. Can you imagine if you could get this now? 15 stam, 4 strength. As expected. Alright, so still got a little bit of work to do, but made a lot of progress here. Getting closer. And honestly, I mean, again, I feel like this is probably just good enough. Just good enough. So maybe it's time to actually start looking for a raid or sign up for a raid. But I think that's actually going to do it for the stream. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate people coming by and hanging out and getting at me in the chat. That always makes streaming so much fun. But I'm going to continue working on this, probably on and off stream. We're going to get into BFD. We're going to blow that raid away a few times. We're going to get the best in-slot gear and then start looking forward to Phase 2 of the Season of Discovery. I'm Uncorrupt, and thank you so much for watching. And hopefully I'll be able to catch you next time.